All right, welcome back to CNN This Morning. If it's Friday, it's Michael Smerconish. Michael, good morning to you. I'm thrilled to have you as always. And this is the last Friday before the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, which means it's the last time you and I are going to get to talk before Election Day. And I'm anxious to know what you think here in the final days, where this race stands, where we're headed. Candidly, I feel like we may be in the calm before the storm. But you tell me if you disagree.
Thank you for having me. I've looked forward to these Friday morning get-togethers. I really have. The big question on my mind is Donald Trump underperforming again in the polls, because you know what happened in 2016, you know what happened in 2020. In 3 runs for the presidency, he's never been in this strong of a position, even though you wouldn't say that he's leading. But if the polls are off as they were in the last 2 cycles, then he wins. Or is there some level of overcompensation by the polling outfits because of what went wrong in 2016 and 2020? Me, I look at all the data like you. I know the polls. The polls say margin of error stuff in the battleground states. She's probably ahead in the national polls by a Hillary margin, not by a Biden margin. The betting markets favor him. Is that because the bro vote is laying a lot of crypto on Donald Trump? I don't know. The stock market seems to suggest it's an incumbent's election. That would be Harris. The cultural touchstones, is it a Ted Lasso world or is it a Yellowstone world? That's more subjective. The pundits, you know, the 2 Nates, the 538. And in the end, Casey, nothing would shock me. If you said that Harris ekes out a victory, it wouldn't shock me. If she wins convincingly, it wouldn't shock me. If he ekes out a victory or wins convincingly, that wouldn't shock me either. Go vote. It's fun to talk about all this stuff. It's insightful. It's important. But in the end, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's honestly the best part, and is that it's at the end of the day, it's up to the voters. And as much as we can try to figure out what they're collectively thinking, my gosh, the number of times that they've surprised us in recent election cycles. But look, Michael, I'm so glad you raised the question of how or whether the polls are capturing accurately what the electorate is going to be, because you rightly point out that mistakes were made in recent previous years. The pollsters have tried to compensate for understanding that there are more sort of hidden Trump voters, right? There is this question, though. Liz Cheney and other female politicians have been out saying there is a secret female vote, right? That there are women out there who are not telling their husbands, they're not telling their families, they're not telling the pollsters that they don't like Donald Trump, and that may make one of those scenarios where Harris wins by a little or by a lot more likely. I want to show you a little bit of how Charlie Kirk and Jesse Waters, 2 figures on the right, have been talking about this possibility, and get your take. Watch this.
It is the embodiment of the downfall of the American family. She's coming in with her sweet husband, who probably works his tail off to make sure that she can go, you know, and have a nice life and provides for the family. And then she lies to him saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. And then she votes for Kamala Harris as her little secret in the voting booth.
And if I found out Emma was going into the voting booth and pulling the lever for Harris, that's the same thing as having an affair. That violates the sanctity of our marriage.
Yes.
What else is she keeping from me?
Exactly.
What else has she been lying about?
I'm interested in your reaction to how those 2 spoke about this particular topic, but also whether you think this secret vote exists in the first place.
It might. I mean, I think that the Harris campaign believes that it does, hopes that it does, so much so that you know of the Julia Roberts commercial, which I thought was pretty effective. It's a week of hysteria. Thank God it's Friday. When I think about, you know, all that has taken place this week, and I am not minimizing the comedian at Madison Square Garden. The joke was appalling. They should have flagged it. Trump should have immediately come out and condemned it. But to go from that to the garbage truck, the White House apparently manipulating the transcript with the apostrophe, reminds me of that book, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves, Mark Cuban and the comments that he made about the truck. I think in the end, this is all a wash. I really believe it's a wash. Alan Lichtman, he of the 13 Keys, said to me yesterday on radio, in the end, it's about governance and how well the incumbent party has been governing. I think there's some truth in that, but soon we're going to find out. I just hope in the end it's clear, because I'm fearful of what next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday look like. And it's kind of funny, Casey, because you've got Philly Burb cred. I've got Philly Burb cred. It's amazing to be living where I'm living, watching what I'm watching, and to see that it might all come down to the very area where I have spent all of my 62 years.
Yeah, it is actually a remarkable reality. I feel that way too. Obviously, I'm not living there at the moment like you are. Michael, we're going to talk to Sanjay Gupta later in the show about the sort of levels of anxiety that are going on around this election. Do you think that anxiety is warranted?
Is it warranted? I think it exists. Is it warranted? I don't know. I would like to think that our system has guardrails. Some would say it barely held 4 years ago, but I think we're in a position where we can control this outcome. I just think it's very important to continue to remind the public that Tuesday night might not tell us who the victor is, and that doesn't mean that there was any tomfoolery involved. It just means that the way in which we run our elections is like we create a pop-up Starbucks every 4 years with a largely volunteer force, and guess what? Stuff's going to happen. And when stuff happens on a minor level, it doesn't mean that there's a major pattern of fraud or some type of chicanery. So everybody just cool down, have a cocktail, settle in. It could be a long couple of days.
It could indeed. We will be here 24 hours a day on CNN until we figure out what the answer to that question is. Michael Smerconish, so grateful to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you as always. Thank you.
Yes, and come back next Friday because we're going to have a lot to talk about. For our viewers, remember to tune into Smerconish tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.